heaven sought it necessary and important to reveal the devotion to the holy face of Jesus. And just think about it, sensuality and hatred of God and the church is exactly what's in our faces right now. And here's heaven given us the tools.
Hello and welcome to HLI Ireland's Let's Talk series. My name is Lisa O'Hare. I am delighted to welcome back Patrick McCrystal to the show. Patrick, you're very welcome.
Great to be here, Lisa.
So Patrick, we're going to talk today about one of the devotions that we would really claim as central to the HLI Ireland's mission. Can you tell us how the link between HLI Ireland and this devotion came to be?
Well, yes, it was back in around about 2010 when a friend of mine walked into my home and he threw down the prayers of the Holy Face and he said, "You got to read these." And I looked at them and they spoke about breaking God's enemies up by division, trampling their evil plans underfoot, and bringing them to a greater conversion. And I thought to myself, that sounds fantastic. And then my friend John, he also had a relic of the Holy Face that was released, that had the Vatican stamp on it. And I was intrigued by this. And as we started to talk, it became clear that this was exactly what Ireland needs, because the devotion to the Holy Face of Jesus is heaven's remedy, not our remedy or anybody else's, heaven's revealed remedy for the things affecting for atheistic communism, for the ills afflicting the world and the church right now. So much so that in around about 1937, Jesus and Mary appeared, and it's all Vatican approved, to now Blessed Maria Perina de Micheli, and said to her, "In these days of sensuality and hatred of God and the church, a divine remedy is necessary. That remedy is the Holy Face of Jesus." And here's heaven, a year after Sister Faustina was revealed the divine mercy, heaven sought it necessary and important to reveal the devotion to the Holy Face of Jesus. And just think about it, sensuality and hatred of God and the church is exactly what's in our faces right now. And here's heaven given us the tools. And to me, the Holy Face devotion revealed by heaven is right up there with the Fatima messages revealed by heaven in making reparation to God for all the sins and the blasphemies against God and Our Lady, which is Fatima's about. But the Holy Face does exactly the same thing. And it's designed to counteract the blasphemies and the offenses against God in his first 3 commandments. They pertain to God. Out of the 10 commandments, the first 3 pertain to God and his need and desire and being worthy of proper respect. And then the remaining 7 commandments pertain to how we are to relate to our fellow man. So we decided to do a speaking tour. That was around about 2011. We went to around about 10, 14 cities, towns and cities around Ireland. We brought the relic, we proclaimed the message of the Holy Face, and people came to the meetings in quite large numbers. And that really launched us in Ireland. And we'd started ordering in. We've distributed about 200,000 medals in the last 10 years or so. We've printed about 200,000 of the little booklets that we distribute. And it's getting bigger and bigger. And then around about 2016, we started doing the billboards of the Holy Face. And this image of the Holy Face you see behind me here, that's coming from it was from the Shroud of Turin, and this is held to be the authentic face of Jesus Christ. So we put this image on the billboards, and we've done last 4 or 5 years of around about 50 or 60 billboards every Lent and every Easter tide. And we took to the digital airways, and last year I think we had something like 70 million views worldwide. We've got one of a very talented digital marketer working for us who has a real desire to himself to see promotion and advancement of Holy Face devotion. And he has been really effective in getting it out around the world. And this year, in this Lent and Easter tide, we're looking to do even more. So that's how we got involved, and that's only a short synopsis.
Patrick, it's all quite amazing, the amount of work and promotion that HLI Ireland has done over the years with regard to the Holy Face devotion. Would you say it, or how would you say that it ties in centrally with our mission with regard to the teachings of the Catholic Church on faith, life and family? Because there is a very strong link there.
Yes. Well, if you're looking to make reparation to God for the sins and the blasphemies against actually belief in God, the first commandment, and giving him his proper place, if we're giving God his proper place in our lives and in society and the world, then everything else goes good. Everything else flows from that. And then if we're making reparation to God for the sins and the blasphemies against his name, and we're elevating his name and observing and advocating proper honor and respect for Sundays and holy days of obligation, because God demonstrated rest for us on the seventh day, and that's the pattern that he's inscribed in our being. And we can advance that concept of advocating rest and proper respect for Sundays and holy days of obligations. We're right at the center, at the heart of ministering to God's heart, I believe. And then if we're right with God, then everything else flows: life, faith, family. And not only that, but because heaven has revealed Holy Face devotion as heaven's, if you like, remedy to the effects of atheistic communism, we cannot be doing anything better as Catholics in the world today. Now, we hear about this so-called Great Reset. I would call it the not so great reset. And it was reported in Time magazine, and it's the billionaires and the millionaires of the world have been meeting every year for some years in Switzerland, and they've come up with this plan, the so-called Great Reset. And what they're looking to do is really deconstruct modern society and all the ways we know, economically, socially, politically, even religiously. And they're trying to what they call reset the world, but unfortunately they're planning to do it without God. Now, in some ways, the people, what they're trying to do, there's a longing in the human heart for something better in this world. When we look around us and we see the ills of the world, yes, there's this desire, even in people who are not believers, to try and do something better. And in a way, it's probably a reflection of the longing of the human heart for God himself, because St. Augustine tells us that our hearts are restless, Lord, and they will remain restless until they rest in you. And these folks who have come along with the so-called Great Reset, in a way, are probably just reflecting the longings of the human heart. But unfortunately, they've decided to try and do it without God. And in essence, in a way, it's a communistic plan to rewrite what we all regard as normal, as we've lived it all our lives and for centuries. But unfortunately, atheistic communism has failed before, and I believe it's set to fail again, because when you try and build something without God, it's ultimately going to collapse. But unfortunately, things like that bring an awful lot of pain and suffering before they get there. But the Holy Face devotion has been growing and growing and growing. And last year, as I think I said, we had something like 70 million views on Facebook of the Holy Face around the world. We're now looking at the whole concept of creating a Holy Face global organization, orchestrated here by ourselves in Ireland, but we're really bringing his Holy Face, this Holy Face, to the world, because the world's is in a bit of a crisis at the moment. Every country of the world is dealing with all this whole COVID situation, and whatever about the ins and outs of all of that, or the rights of the wrongs of it. The world is turning away, largely speaking, from God and his laws and his gospel, and heaven has revealed to us what the remedy is. So we're looking to bring that out, and I just wanted to encourage you and myself, indeed, and all our supporters, everybody listening to this, to return to your devotion to the Holy Face. And even if you say the prayer that's known as the Golden Arrow prayer, which we can reproduce just at the end of the show on the screen, Lisa, it was revealed by heaven that to wound God's heart delightfully every time it's prayed, and it makes reparation to him for all the times that his name is taken in vain. And if you're saying at least one prayer to the Holy Face, you're at the cutting edge of heaven's remedy of where it's really at. So we really are onto something. We can claim no credit for it. Heaven has revealed it to us. We've seen it. It's been brought to our attention. We're looking to put it out. And we know that Christ's victory is imminent. It's not a matter of if, it's just merely a matter of when. And the job for you and I and all our listeners and everybody who's with us in any way, our job is to stay in a state of grace and patiently endure to the end. Because he who perseveres to the end will be saved. So we've got a very good positive message to give out.
And Patrick, can you give us the details of the website that people can go to that will tell them all about the history of the devotion and indeed all of the prayers and all of the initiatives that are coming up in this Easter 2021?
Called www.theholyface.com. We've had it up for 5 years or so. It's full of information, pictures, prayers, testimonies of people's lives. We've got loads of testimonies of people's lives have been touched either by the medal and praying the prayers, and healings and miraculous cures, and several experiences used taking the Holy Face relic to people who are sick and having miraculous healings. So it's all there at theholyface.com. And I couldn't exhort our listeners today, and I'm speaking to myself, let's get back to the Holy Face of Jesus, because that's where it's really at.
Thank you so much, Patrick. It's obviously a very exciting time to hear about such a powerful devotion. And as you said, Patrick, there is no better time and no more appropriate time in the world's history to really throw ourselves into that devotion. Patrick, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Talk to you again soon. God bless.
Lisa, keep up the good work.
In today's video, Patrick referred to the Golden Arrow prayer. It is the central prayer in the devotion to the Holy Face. It was given to Sister Mary of St. Peter to atone for the sins of blasphemy against God's name. Just as sins of blasphemy were like a poisoned arrow continually wounding God's heart, she saw in a vision that this golden arrow had the power to wound him delightfully. Our Lord revealed to her the inseparable connection in honouring the unutterable name of God through the Golden Arrow prayer and in venerating the Holy Face of Jesus. She saw how its recitation caused torrents of graces to stream for the conversion of sinners. May the most holy, most sacred, most adorable, most incomprehensible and unutterable name of God be always praised, blessed, loved, adored and glorified in heaven, on earth and under the earth, by all the creatures of God, and by the Sacred Heart of our Lord Jesus Christ in the most holy sacrament of the altar. Amen.